Now is the #3 Democrat in the House, South Carolina Congressman Jim Clyburn. Thank you so much for joining me, sir. I want to start by reading you something that the speaker said back in March. Here's what she said. She said, impeachment is so divisive to the country that unless there's something so compelling and overwhelming and bipartisan, I don't think we should go down that path because it divides the country and it's just not worth it. So this week, as you're well aware, the House voted to approve the procedures on impeachment with 0 Republican support. So my question is, would you move forward with a vote on articles of impeachment if that remains true, that you have no Republican support?
Well, thank you so much for having me, Dana, but we would. Absolutely. I think that when we talk about bipartisan support, we're not limiting that to the Congress. I've been watching the polls all over the country. There is rising support within Republican voters in favor of moving forward. Independents seem to be, a majority of them seem to be in favor of moving forward, and certainly overwhelmingly Democrats. So I think what the speaker was saying, that there needs to be bipartisanship, I don't think she was limiting that to the Congress. She knows the Congress very well, and she knows how our Republican colleagues are prone to vote on these issues within our body.
But
that is not reflective of the country.
A vast majority of Republicans in these polls still very much oppose impeachment. And wouldn't it be true that if the polls changed that much, that the people who represent them would change along with it? Well, that may be true. But what's that level that we have to get to for them to change? I think that there are calculations here. The impeachment process itself is a political process, and political calculations are being made inside the House, in the Senate, and around the country. So I do believe that there is a lot of smoke that all of us see. There should be some fire somewhere, and we should find the source of that fire and find the level of it to see what needs to be done to extinguish it. And that's exactly what we're doing here, if I might use that as a metaphor. So, Congressman, some Republicans argue that while they consider the president's interactions with Ukraine to be inappropriate, they say that they're not impeachable. The Constitution says, as you know, that the president must be impeached for, quote, treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. Which of those did the president commit? Well, I have no idea, and that's why we are doing this investigation. What I'm saying is there seems to be an indication that something was going on here. There could be high crimes and misdemeanors taking place. There might even be bribery taking place. That's why you have an investigation, and that's what we're doing here. And starting this week, we are going to release these transcripts for people to see and read for themselves. We're going to have public hearings starting maybe this week or next, and we will get to the bottom of this, and then we will be able to make a determination at that time whether or not something happened that was treasonous. I've talked to a lot of people since I've been home who believe that there's treasonous on the part of this president. They certainly believe some crimes have been committed. So I want to talk about